Pulse School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by BASF.
Hello, I'm Dale Leftwich with Real Agriculture. Today I'm with Jeff Ewen, a farmer at Riverhurst. How are you doing today, Jeff?
I'm doing really well. We're well into harvest out here at Riverhurst, so things are going well.
That's great. We're actually standing in a field of dry beans. You've been growing dry beans for a little while, Jeff?
Yes, I have. Actually, approximately 10 years we've been in the business of growing dry beans.
So dry beans are not all that common on the prairies. Why did you start growing dry beans?
We acquired some irrigation land here along Lake Diefenbaker approximately 10 years ago, and we found that dry bean fits as probably the best pulse under irrigation, and there was a few in the area that were having some success with it, so it's something we wanted to give a try and been going with it ever since.
So you actually have a four crop rotation, I think. How do the dry beans fit into that rotation for you?
That's correct. Actually, it's the pulse that we use in that rotation. So we're growing dry beans. That's followed up by flax. We then grow canola and then a cereal, whether it be durum wheat or hard red spring wheat.
So why did you choose the dry beans then rather than soybeans or peas or something like that, or lentils?
Well, the fit seems to be dry bean needs that moisture later in the season, where typically in this part of the province we don't receive during, well, essentially late July and August. So it fits really well with that. It's kind of a specialized market around here, even though dry bean actually is probably the largest pulse in the world. But as it works out, a lot of the other crops like the peas and the lentils are grown vastly on the dryland acres surrounding us, and we just don't see the major benefit under irrigation that we might see definitely with the dry bean. So we do grow peas and lentils on the farm, but we tend to leave them outside of the irrigation.
So do you need specialized equipment for this? We're standing in a field that has been undercut, actually. Mm-hmm. And so how do you get the seeding and the harvest done with this?
Right, yeah, no, definitely there's specialized equipment. Like the field we're standing in here, like you said, was just undercut, which uses a Pickett one-step undercutter and puts it into windrows. But prior to that, even then, we're using row crop equipment right through. So there's planters, vacuum planters used, cultivators used. And then there's actually a specialized bean combine that comes in and does the harvesting as well. So yeah, definitely a specialized equipment used.
So the undercutter, the windrower that you used here, I took a look at it. It looks almost a little bit like a rod weeder.
That's correct. Yeah, no, it is kind of a glorified rod weeder. So it uses two bars and actually cuts below the surface and cuts the roots. And the reason for that is that the beans actually set their seeds quite low and the pods nearly lay on the ground. So it results in needing to get underneath and actually picking it up, and then it throws it onto a conveyor and puts it off to one side and leaves it in a windrow. So yeah, it works really well.
So you're pretty happy with your dry beans. You've grown them for 10 years and you say it works well under irrigation. Do you have any trouble marketing them? Is there anyone local that wants to buy them?
Well, actually there is one processor here in Saskatchewan currently that is actively buying beans. But we do marketing in Alberta and Manitoba, where there is a bit larger industry and a little more competition. Yeah, the buyers are actively looking for beans, and the price right now is quite attractive, so it's working out really well for us.
Okay, and so just one other question, that is, we're saying dry beans, but what is the actual variety of bean? What is the type of bean that we're looking at here?
We're looking at actually a pinto bean here, and the variety is Island, which actually goes into the Viterra program, and it works out really well. We've been growing it for probably the last 6 or plus years and been really happy with the variety. We also do grow other pinto varieties. I have a Vibrant Pinto, which is a slow to darken variety. Another common variety is CDC White Mountain 2, which is done at Rudy Agro and Outlook. But there's also kidney beans grown, cranberry beans grown, black beans grown, navy beans, Great Northerns. There's been a vast variety of different types of beans grown in this area. So.
Okay, well that sounds really good. I've been with Jeff Ewen, a farmer at Riverhurst. All the best in your continued harvest, Jeff.
Well, thank you very much.